Ambassador, for those kind comments. We're not really that very good of friends, but it was very polite of him to say that. My esteemed colleagues on the panel. So the ambassador gave what I would call the world atlas view of the energy security for Ukraine, and I'm going to try to do something very quickly because we've been told we only have 3 minutes to present our strategic overall view of energy security for Ukraine. And for all of you that know me, you know that I'm going to waste these 3 minutes just trying to tell a decent joke or two. So what I want to do is, I think we all know why we're here. I think we all know why Ukraine has significant economic problems, why Ukraine is suffering from essentially invasion and or a low-intensity conflict within eastern Ukraine. You have significant disruption within the economy, both and as well politically within the country. We all know what happened in the Maidan and the events leading up to that. And my argument here to all of you, because this is an energy conference, is this was all driven by energy. And that the pipeline system, the GTS system, Russia's energy security to Europe is what drove this more than anything else. We've all sat in this room, we've talked about the oil and gas business for the past 4 or 5 years, for however long as Adam Smith has been coming here, and we all know the same issues, all the same people. We're all talking about how we're going to develop oil and gas, and I haven't really seen much progress in 15 years, for as long as I've been here. There's been 5, 6 public companies that have operated in the upstream sector, and still 5, 6 public companies. They all have the same amount of production. Nothing's happening. The only companies that have increased in production are Cub Energy and Cygnus Energy. JKX has gone up, but that's it. What Ukraine needs is it needs a significant number more of oil and gas companies to come in and develop its resources. Because the reason that we're here, the reason that Ukraine is having such significant problems, why Russia is conducting what I call a geoeconomic warfare on Ukraine and Europe, is gas supply. And the reason that gas supply is a significant issue, a tackling issue, a grappling issue with regard to Ukraine, is it has never developed its own independent source of resource supply. You have 2 large companies. You have Ukernafta and you have Ukrgas Production. Both companies shouldn't exist. Neither have to supply free gas to the retail sector at this point. Ukernafta, at this point, the 50% that Ukraine owns, they should sell it for cash. Ukernafta is a 28,000 barrel a day business. That implies you'll get anywhere from $700 to $1 billion for the sale of Ukernafta. Ukrgas Production, it's approximately 250,000 barrels a day. For those of you in the market, that's roughly half the size of the BG Group, which they have a significant number of license areas that are poorly developed at best. Poorly developed because capital has not been expended on developing the infrastructure within the oil and gas sector here in Ukraine. We've argued consistently to the ministry and to essentially whomever would listen, you need to change the law that allows oil and gas companies to come in and to develop oil and gas fields with Ukrgas Production. There is a significant inventory, potential resources here, conventional resources that are here that can be developed within the Ukrgas portfolio. Certainly we've heard a lot about LNG and LNG coming through the Bosphorus. It's possible. It's going to take, I believe, some time. I've been involved in some of those discussions. There needs to be a direct business-to-business conversation with Turkey. It's not going to happen on the governmental level. Governments are notoriously bad about putting a large deal like this together. It needs to be a broad economic deal that works from a business standpoint. Certainly you need additional pricing and security of contract. It's something that all of us have suffered through over the years. But my biggest contention for Ukraine is the sale of the pipeline system. Again, I believe that one of the reasons that you're having such problems with Russia right now is that they're doing everything that they can to secure energy supply to Europe. We all know that Europe and Ukraine is Russia's market. And when you threaten that market, they act the way that they have, and that is they create unrest from a trade standpoint in eastern Ukraine for Ukraine. They have the low-intensity conflict that you have. They've taken Crimea. If you were to bring in a consortium to develop the pipeline system, a pipeline system that's worth anywhere between $25 and $50 billion, depending on how you end up wanting to value it, I suggested you sell anywhere from 75 to 50% of that for cash, and a part of that, you would absolutely have to involve Russia into that consortium. Russia would pay cash, but also Russia would have to remove all of its support that it has for the Russian separatists in eastern Ukraine. Economic warfare would have to end. It would have to secure the border, and it would also have to allow Ukraine to sign an EU agreement. Just as much as Ukraine needs equal trade with Russia, it needs to be able to have the ability to trade with the European Union as well. So I'm out of my time. But that's a very tactical roadmap as to what I believe the independence of energy security for Ukraine should be. Thank you.